Hey everyone, I'm Annie here with another Women Who podcast in our new studio. I just want to talk about that in this episode, but I'm so excited. We're in a new studio, and today we're just going to talk about Andrea's testimony, Andrea's journey to her engagement, and just the promises that God keeps, the promises that God fulfills. And I think this is going to be such an incredible episode for women who are single, women who might have just gotten out of a relationship, women who are craving marriage, but don't see it right now. I think Andrea's story is really going to help you guys and those women just get hope again and know that if marriage is in the desire of your heart, that the Lord will have it come to pass. And we also are going to have a super special guest on the podcast. So in the comments, if you can guess who it is, I'll give you a Starbucks gift card if you guess correctly. I probably won't, but I will. But anyway, Andrea, I'm so happy that we're doing this. I mean, we've all seen you go through this journey. And I kind of just want to start from the beginning. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've been engaged before. Mm-hmm. Now you're engaged again. Mm-hmm. A much better man. Sorry, we're all thinking it said it. No, but just for the man that God has for you, really. But can you kind of tell us, just go back from the beginning? I kind of want to talk about why this is just such a promise fulfilled in your life.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of nervous to talk about this. I don't know why. I mean, you guys all know the story, but obviously for our listeners, they don't. I was engaged actually 10 years ago. Around this time, I was supposed to get married. And so Janelle's been on the journey with me since then because she was going to be one of my bridesmaids.
Can I just pause really quick? Our pastor has been talking about give God a day and he can change your life. Give God a decade and he can change your legacy. And it's so crazy that it's 10 years. Yeah. Oh my God, mind blown. That's crazy.
Yeah. I've actually been thinking a lot about it because obviously you guys know I'm on staff at our church. And so like I've had to write a lot about the legacy and all these things that just the numbers. And I think about the fact that like I've been kind of paralleled with our church's like life, like the way that they started the church in September 2015. I was engaged around that time, called my wedding off in November or October. And so it's been kind of cool to just see like, basically like their motto for every year has kind of been my motto in my life without me even realizing it. And so now stepping into it 10 years later and just being in this promise fulfilled, like you said, like I didn't think it was going to happen this year and it kind of happened just really fast. And I was just like, what the heck? How did we get here this fast? But it's been really cool. It's been really cool to actually see God's hand in everything, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I think one of the things that I've been very vocal about talking about is the fact that like, there's a lot of information out there and I don't have it all figured out, right? But there's a lot of information out there in regards to unequally yoked relationships. And I was dating a Christian guy back in the day, like that's who I was engaged to. But the term Christian can be thrown out so loosely. And we just didn't believe in the same things, even as Christians. Like there were a lot of things that like I believed in growing up that he didn't believe in, like gifts of the Holy Spirit. He didn't believe in those gifts, right? And so it's like, well, when it comes time to like pray over our sick children, like and laying of the hands and like praying for healing, like if you don't believe in that and I'm doing that, you're going to think I look crazy, right? So like we were unequally yoked even in our faith, even in our shared faith, because even as Christians, we didn't believe in the same things. So now it's really cool to see like somebody that I know I can actively pray with and that believes in the same things that I believe in. And it's just like, yeah, it's been really cool to see that. I think it was just an obedience for me to call my wedding off back then. I was just like, I want my children to be raised the same way that I was raised. Like, I don't want to have to go to my parents for prayer. Like, I want this to be something where I can hold hands with my spouse and actually pray together over things when things get really bad and really serious. And so now I think having that, I'm just like, man, God, you were faithful. Like I didn't know what it was going to look like when I called the wedding off. And I see it now looking back and I'm like, I'm thankful that I did what I did, you know?
When you talk about too obedience by calling off the engagement, and I'm sure, you know, if you even want to talk about that, what that felt like, how scary it was, because I've been hearing so many people call off engagements, call off weddings. or who get married and are married for a very short time. So I do want to hit on that. But really quickly, I also want to hit on, you said you were obedient in breaking off the engagement, but you were also obedient in staying in Miami.
Yeah.
And so had you not stayed in Miami,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think when it comes to obedience, like one of the things that people ask me is, how did you know that you had to call the wedding off? And for me, it was a matter of anxiety. I was just having so many like anxiety attacks and panic attacks that I was just like, this isn't normal. Like, this isn't something that I should be feeling walking into a marriage. Like, I should be feeling peace. And I didn't even know that that's what I should have been feeling. But I just was like, this isn't the way that I should be feeling. Like, I shouldn't be feeling all this stress and all these negative emotions. Like, this is actually a season of my life where I should be really happy and excited. Right. And so like, obviously the way that I went about calling my wedding off wasn't in a very healthy way. I didn't know what conflict resolution was really like. I didn't know what emotional awareness was like. I didn't know any of these things. I mean, I was 27, right? And like, I think one of the things that I tell a lot of girls is, in your 20s, you're still discovering yourself. You're still trying to find who you are. And all of my identity was wrapped up in this one relationship that I had, and then like being a wedding photographer. So I kept seeing weddings all around me and I was like, that's what I want. But then the marriage wasn't going to be very healthy because we just didn't know how to have a healthy like relationship. We didn't know how to address certain emotional conversations and stuff. And so even when I would bring up things that I wanted to talk about, he would like shut down and he wouldn't have these conversations with me. And so I think it was just a matter of like, I went about it in the wrong way to call it off because I just didn't know how to have the hard conversation. And so in all of that, it just created more turmoil and a lot of chaos. And I don't think that a good relationship should have chaos and confusion. It should always come with clarity and peace. And so I think that that's one of the things that I learned in my obedience. Like, oh, if something doesn't feel right, and it doesn't feel right even in my gut, then it's probably not from God. And that's how my discernment was developed over the 10 years. So when Jordan came around and there was just so much peace and just like clarity, and there was no confusion, and he came with a clear like, hey, this is my intention, and he was just direct, like it brought a lot of peace into that. And so it was great. And then my obedience and staying planted in Miami, I think for a long time, I was like, my husband's not in Miami. Like, he's not going to be a Miami type of guy.
Wild.
Yeah. Like, I was just like, I know what I want, and I know what I like. And I like the guy that's not a city kind of guy, that isn't into like brand names and isn't into all these like superficial things. I need him to be like a handy kind of guy, very laid back. Like, you know, like I just knew what I needed and what I wanted. And I felt like I wasn't going to find it in Miami. And so obviously in that desire of wanting to get married and stuff, I was like, maybe I need to leave Miami. Maybe I need to get out of my comfort zone and go somewhere else where I can find more of what I'm looking for, like that type of lifestyle that's more laid back. And that's going to attract more of the kind of guys that I actually want to be with. And so like, there was a lot of growth that needed to happen within me. And I know part of me wanted to run from problems and run from things that I just didn't want to confront and face. And so it was in having leadership around me that I would just be like, I think I'm going to take this job elsewhere. And they'd be like, no, I think you need to stay planted. Like, I think you're running again. I think you're trying to run from your problems. That I was like, okay, maybe I need to take this back to the altar. And then turns out that Jordan's not from Miami. You know, he came from South Carolina. Like,
he's a transplant.
Yeah, he is. And I always would say it. I was like, either he's not in Miami and I have to go somewhere else and move somewhere else and like find him, or he's going to end up like moving from somewhere else and be a transplant and find me. But that's the reality. Like, most of the time you're like, as a woman, like pursuing that and going after it isn't like the healthy way, in my opinion. Like, I did the pursuing a lot before. I did the like wanting to look for it to go find it.
Right.
And I ended up in really wrong relationships because I was always trying to go find it instead of letting it find me. So finally, when I was just like, I'm just going to surrender that, and I'm going to stick to what I'm doing right now, which is work in ministry, like doing my thing, running my own race, he ended up finding me. It's been really cool.
I do have a question for you. When you said that you felt peace, do I sound okay? No? Sorry, I feel like I'm kind of far.
Voice.
Okay. Hi. Now? Okay. Okay. So yeah, my question is, when you said that you finally felt the peace with Jordan, something that you've unfortunately haven't felt before in the past 10 years, even with your ex-fiance and all this stuff, Did that feel weird? Were you kind of like also thinking of running away from it because it was unfamiliar?
No.
Or when you learned that it was peace and clarity, how did your heart sit with that? Like, how did you?
For the first
navigate
time,
that?
I didn't feel like self-sabotaging or running, which is
Okay.
like so.
That's what so many people do.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's a great,
Yeah.
Exactly.
question.
Like,
I mean-
it didn't feel boring. It
No.
didn't feel, you know, that a lot of people say that, like when they're used to frustration
Right.
and anxiety and all the
Toxic.
things.
Yeah.
They want that roller coaster feeling. And
They
when
crave the
find
chaos.
That, yeah. And
Yeah.
when they find that, it's like, oh, this person's just boring.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing exciting here.
Well, I think when you go through so much chaos for so long, you learn to realize that chaos isn't good, right?
Yeah.
And you get tired of it. You get to a point where you're just like, this is exhausting and
Right.
it shouldn't feel this way. Like, and I think when it comes to the point of like you're fully healed and you're really not fully healed, because let me make it clear, you're never going to be fully healed. Like
Yeah.
Until we get
there's
to heaven.
yeah, there's things that even come up with him, like even now in
Mm-hmm.
conversations, that sometimes like certain little triggers that I'm like, oh, where's this coming from? And thankfully he's really good and mature about like, okay, where did this come from? Like, let's address the actual root of this. And then we talk about it. So you're never going to be fully healed. Like girls are always
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't think I'm fully healed. At the end of the day, your person is going to help you go to that through that process as well.
Yeah.
But I think I got to the point where like 2 years ago, I just hit this place of like, what am I doing? Like, what are my own toxic patterns and cycles? Like, I need to recognize what I keep doing over and over again, thinking I'm going to get a different result, which is insanity, right? Like,
yeah.
insanity is thinking that you're going to do the same things over and over again, expecting different results,
Right,
but you don't.
right.
And so I got to a point where I was like, I can't keep doing this anymore. I have to find something that feels like it's peaceful. And a lot of times that does bring anxiety because it's an unknown feeling.
Yeah.
Like you're just kind of like, this feels like it's too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like maybe I should hold on because at some point the roller coaster is going to
Yes.
just drop, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's just in having those hard conversations and it helped. Like I said, that he as a man was just so clear with his intentions that I didn't have to guess anything. I didn't have to sit there in anxiety wondering, does he like me? Does he not like me?
Yeah, yeah.
Where is
He
this
was
going?
clear
Where is this
from
not
the
going?
beginning.
He was clear from the very beginning. And so that just allowed me to just sit and receive that
Mm-hmm.
and learn to just be like, okay, if he's being clear, then I'm just going to be led by him.
Yeah.
But I think it helps when you learn to be led by God first. Because if you don't know how to submit to God, it's going to be really hard for you to submit to a man that is submitted to God, right? And
Yeah.
so like in that sense, it helped a lot that I knew he was submitting to also God's will. And so it was like, okay, if you're hearing from God and you're feeling peace about this, and now you're directing me in the sense that like I feel peace about it, then we're going in a good direction. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about the submission? Because I feel like it has a lot of negative connotation.
Yeah.
And I just want you to kind of like, you know, like, what do you call it? Like kind of like describe what that means.
Yeah.
Instead of just, because for us, like we get what you're saying.
Right.
But for a lot of people, they're like, I'm not submitting to anybody. What are you
Right.
talking
Well,
about?
and that's the thing. At the end of the
So-
day, you're always going to submit to somebody. And that's
Right,
what I
right.
think I tell a lot of women. Like, I'm like, you don't want to submit to a husband, you're submitting to a boss at your job.
Right.
Like
right.
I mean, that's the reality of
Yeah.
it. Like you want to be an entrepreneur, cool. You're going to submit to the government because you're still going to have to pay taxes and like
Right.
all these other things. Like you're always going to submit to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of the day, like I've always been a very hyper independent kind of girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go through a lot of things in my life to learn that was just getting me nowhere. And that was just getting me exhausted. That was just like, it was coming from a place of striving
Yeah.
on my own strength, that just flowing and letting God use my strengths and even my weaknesses to whatever it is that he wanted me to do. So I think it all really started when I stepped on staff at church. Like, I think for me, that was something I didn't want. And I talked about it before in the last episode that we recorded where I was the guest. I didn't want it, but I knew that I needed it. And sometimes what you want and what you need are not the same thing.
Right,
And I'm like,
right.
in order for me to break out of the toxic cycles and the lack of discipline and the freedom that I have in my mind all the time, that I just want to be a free bird, I need to put myself under systems, under people, under structure. And that's going to be really uncomfortable for me, but I'm going to have to submit to that, for even if it's for a season,
Yeah.
to learn that I can't just live with this freedom mentality all the time, right? And so I've learned that even when you don't want to do something, you have to do it. Like even in it's more about being consistent. Like as creatives, sometimes we lead out of our emotions. Yeah. And I had to learn how to put my emotions aside and still show up every day, even when it was hard, even when I don't want to. And that's how marriage really is in a relationship.
Right,
like a healthy relationship, you're going to have to show up even when you don't want to. You're going to have the hard conversations even when you don't want to. You're going to have to be a mom even when you don't want to, and you're tired and you want to cry and you know what I mean? Like your emotions can't control you. You have to learn how to control your emotions. So in all of that, that's where submission came in. It was like, okay, God, you're calling me to do this. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to submit, and I'm going to do the hard thing, which is give away my freedom and like my time to do what you're asking me to do, which is, that's a submission. And so now with him, it's like, okay, I'm going to let you lead because I know that you are praying to God and that you are hearing from God, and I'm going to submit to what you want to do. There's obviously things that we talk about, like he knows I don't have a desire to stay in Miami to raise kids, but it's something that he also is aligned with. But it's like, I'm not going to tell him, hey, let's move next month. Like I'm submitting to, he still feels called to Miami. I may not feel the same calling as much as he does, but he's like, I just haven't felt like God's been like, you're done. And this is, like it's time to leave. So it's like, okay, I'm going to have to submit that desire until we're both aligned with the timing of it. And so I think that that's where a lot of girls have a problem with the word submission, that they just feel like, oh, I don't want to submit to anybody or anything. But it's like, no, like you do, it's just got to be a healthy kind of submission. That doesn't mean you're going to be a doormat and you're going to be walked all over. That doesn't mean that he makes all the decisions and you don't have a say in it. That means you both talk about it. You both bring it to prayer. And it's like, even if I want this thing, I'm going to wait until we're both aligned in it, that the Holy Spirit is actually guiding us and telling us, okay, it's time for you guys to leave or to move or whatever.
And to also lean into your femininity more than masculinity, because I feel like when we reach a level of like hyper independency, we tend to be like, I can provide for myself, which is great if you can do all the things for yourself. But when you're in a relationship, you also have to understand that as a woman, you also want to be taken care of. You want somebody that is your supporter, somebody that speaks truth to your life instead of you doing it to yourself so much. And I feel like we get so used to that we don't let men operate in the way that they are designed to operate. Yeah. So I'm glad that you kind of brought that to light, because I do feel like a lot of people have a problem with that word of like, oh, submit to who? What do you mean? I'm my own person. I have my job. It's like, yes, you continue to be your own person. But it's like you said, you just come in alignment with somebody in relationship, emotionally, spiritually, and character-wise too, because you're making each other better at the end of the day. So
yeah, and I think that's something I'm like passionate about, that I talk to you girls all the time, right? The masculinity and femininity. Yes, like I didn't understand it before. My friend Ohania, which is married to our Woo that we know, she spoke to me about it years ago, and she was like, I've been reading a lot more about femininity and all this stuff, and I didn't understand it because I was like, what? I just wasn't in the season to understand it. It wasn't until I hit rock bottom over and over again in a lot of relationships where I saw myself being the masculine and leading and being like, where are we going with this? What is happening? Why? Like, where's the clarity? Like, I'm confused. I don't understand. Like, we need to have a conversation. We need to talk. And it was like, dude, this is tiring. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, I should not be the one trying to have these conversations and trying to like just pursue you in a way to bring clarity to this relationship, that I just was like, hold on, I'm operating out of my masculinity. This should be his role. And I should just be laid back and like, just allow him to do that. And I should be the nurturer. Like I was being the nurturer, but also the leader, but then like it was just too exhausting.
And it almost feels like there's a sense of control of like, you're putting your hand in it and it doesn't work out because you didn't try hard enough. You didn't work for it. So then you're striving.
Yes.
And then you're not letting the relationship flow so that you can give yourself space to be like, is this person really for me? Like, are we actually meant to be aligned together or are we not? And I feel like when two people come together and they come in agreement and flowing and seeing where they're aligned, you really see everything with more clarity. And it's like, it didn't work out. That's great. Yeah. Next, you know,
it is control a lot of times. And I'm still a little bit of a control freak because that's just part of my nature. Right. But like, I've had to learn to let that go a lot. Like, I'm like, bro, there's a lot of things that I'm not in control in. And again, I bring it back to this, but like being at the job that I'm in, I'm having to learn that I'm not in control of anything. Like I am having to pivot constantly. I'm having to be flexible. I'm having to learn how to just be adaptable to things. And I'm just like, man, I'm doing things with open hands. Like I'm not in control of things. And that's how I'm coming into this relationship as well. Like, it's like, I'm not in control of these things. I'm not in control of you. I'm not in control of your emotions. I'm not in control of how you react to things. I'm only in control of myself.
Yeah.
Like, and doing that has just released so much stress and pressure and anxiety on myself that it's helped a lot. It's really helped a lot. Yeah.
Sure. And I think just reminding us that God is in control of all. God is sovereign. And I think, I mean, I just feel like you healed me a little bit by sharing what you just shared, how you were the one pursuing, you were the one trying to be like, hello, where do we stand? What are we doing? Because the breadcrumbs, the on and off, you know, and I feel like so many guys are doing that now. Not saying that women are perfect, not saying that all guys breadcrumb and all guys, you know, just, you know, are on and off, but, and can't decide. But I do really believe that if you have a guy who is being clear with you, it helps you to want to submit. It helps you to want to, it makes you feel safe to be in your feminine energy, right?
Yes.
And I think something so beautiful is I was talking to somebody and she was telling me about how when the Lord created the world, the earth, heaven and earth, day one, it was just vast, you know? And then as the days went on, he brought in more details. So like the animals, the plants, detail. The last thing he created was the woman. And so we are the most detailed, complex creation of the Lord. And so I think so many women are just, when they're in these types of relationships that aren't clear and the guy's not certain, they're like, is it me? Am I too much? Like, am I like, oh my God, I'm too complex, my emotion? Like, no, God created you that way for a purpose, on purpose, for a purpose, like we say. And so I think too, I want to jump into, as you submitted, don't get mad at me if I bring this up, I'll share something for me. But like the last person I was talking to, when I was talking to him, I had so much acne on my face. And then once we stopped talking, my acne went away. Like I didn't change my regimen. I didn't do anything different. Like my body was telling me like, yo, this ain't it. Yeah. Can you talk about how your body has changed?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, wait, why is she going to get mad at you?
Yeah. No, and I think it's something that we should talk about even as women, because I'm a huge advocate for like your menstrual cycle and infertility and why we see so much of this and like just like health in general as women. But Your Body Keeps Score is a book that is out there. I haven't read it. I've heard about it.
We're going to link it. I've read it.
Yeah.
But your body does.
But your body does
body
keep score.
you.
It tells you so many things. Like I went the holistic route for a bit and I remember she taught me how to listen to my body in a way where it was like you cycle sync, you eat according to your cycle, like you work out according to your cycle, you listen to your body. When you're about to get sick, I was craving oysters and I was like, why do I crave oysters when I'm about to get a cold? She's like, your zinc is low. You're craving zinc and oysters have a high amount of zinc. So it's just like learning to listen to your body in all kinds of things. Emotionally, for me, the thing that would always happen was my period would go away if I was in the wrong relationship.
I remember that.
Like when I was engaged, I would go the last 3 years. It was like, I wouldn't get my period for 6 months out of the year.
Crazy.
And I was just like, that's not normal. That's
Are you
not
usually
okay.
regular?
I was regular before.
Okay.
Yeah. And then once it started getting like towards like the end of it, it was just like 3 years, 4 years where I like Janelle knows, man, like I would go 6 months without getting my period. And then when I would, it would be dreadful. Like I wanted to die every time I would get it. And so then I started realizing, okay, I need to heal myself from the inside out. And that's in all kinds of aspects, right? Like hormonally, spiritually, emotionally, like so many things needed to be healed. So getting into the relationship with Jordan, I've had my period every month and I'm like, this is the way it should be. And it's been one of the lightest periods of my life. Like it's been so good, so healthy.
Great.
Like, yeah, I'll get cramps here and there, but not as bad as I used to. But the last 2 or 3 years when I was in relationships that I shouldn't have been in, situationships, people I was talking to that just weren't the right people, my period would just go away. And I was like, okay, I'm under stress. I'm in control mode. I'm in fight or flight mode. that means that this is what's happening. The other thing that would happen was I would just stop eating. Like I just would be in so much anxiety. I wouldn't be hungry. I would stop eating. I would have to work out to get my appetite going. And I was like, and I would lose weight. I think you know this when in 2022, when I was in a really bad relationship for 3 months or situationship.
Yeah,
I went from 115 pounds to 97 pounds in a matter of like 2 months.
Of weight. Yeah.
And I was like, clearly this isn't the healthiest relationship for me. And luckily somebody else that was working at our church at the time noticed it. She was like, you've been losing a lot of weight. Are you okay? And I just confessed what had happened, and that took the weight off of me. And she prayed over me, and she just like pointed me to the right counsel. And she was just like, it's okay. You're still a good Christian. Like this doesn't mean anything. Like I get it. Like I understand. Now we have to work on the inner side of things. So yeah.
And I kind of want to hit on too, you know, obviously we're all Christian and we have a certain belief and a way of living. We're human, so we do fall short sometimes, but how Janelle's the best producer ever.
I sound okay too, right? Okay, good.
The best. But oh my God, I lost the doobie. I did it again. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, no.
That we're all Christians and the same beliefs. Yeah.
That we have a way of living.
Right. And so, you know, anybody can watch this podcast, whether you're a Christian or not, like everybody's welcome. But what are some of the things as a Christian woman, as a daughter of the King, as someone who has a relationship with Jesus, like, can you share some tips or some ways that in the Bible it kind of helped you be in a healthy relationship? So like one of the things you said is we're not called to pursue, right? It says a man who finds a wife finds a good thing. So finds, he's the one who's actively looking. We're just called to steward whatever season we're in, whether it's being single, whether it's our career, whatever God has for me in this season, I have to give it my all 100%. Oh. So you were focused on what you were doing, like you said, running your race, and then Jordan came and found you. Is there anything else that you can share with women who are trying to be women of God, who are trying to follow like Christian dating or biblical practices of relationships? You know, is there anything else you can share that you found helpful?
So I think what you said is actually very interesting, because a lot of women will say, oh, but like Ruth went after Boaz because she slept at the foot of his bed, kind of thing.
She didn't.
But the reality too is that she was out working. Like she was out doing stuff. She was tending the fields. She was keeping herself busy, right? Like she had gone through her grief. In her grief, she found herself purposeful, right? She also submitted to Naomi. Like she was like, I'm going to go wherever you go, kind of thing. So she had that person that she could look up to, but also confide in. And like, she let herself be led by Naomi too. Like Naomi was the one that thought Boaz would be a good match for her. Right. But I think the one thing for me has been learning really that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, and who you allow in your life is going to dictate so many things within your body and within your emotional like aspect of life. And so you have to protect it. Right. And so it's like, how are you taking care of yourself? Not just physically, because I think women, sometimes we think physical is everything. We have to look good. Especially in Miami, right? That's not the most important part. Like, it's like, how are you actually really taking care of yourself in your health mentally and emotionally? So like one of my favorite books has been Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. And I think I revisit it every once in a while, because it does teach you how to have emotional health so that trickles down into your spiritual health as well, and vice versa, right? And so it's like, if I'm not feeding myself spiritually, then I can't think that I'm going to be emotionally healthy, and vice versa. And so right now, like I had let myself go with the gym just because of work and schedules and everything. And I just went back to it this week. And it's been such a game changer for me, not because I want to look good for Jordan. Like I told him, I was like, I'm not doing this to physically look good. I know you think I'm attractive. I know like I could be 10 pounds heavier, 10 pounds lighter, and you're still going to find me attractive. Right. But I have to do it for myself, because I need to be the best version of myself for me and for him. Right. You know, and so it's like the only way to do that is to actually take care of my body. But I also like counseling, like therapy, all those kind of things, they matter. They're helpful. Like you don't go to a therapist when things are broken and falling apart. You should go to a therapist to prevent things from breaking,
Right.
to learn how to use those tools to even communicate. Like when I have to have a hard conversation with Jordan, my initial reaction sometimes is either I want to blow up or I want to walk away and like shut myself out, right? With him, I've never had to blow up, but I just tell him, hey, I need a little bit of time to process this and just sit with it before I say something that I don't want to say. And I'll do that, and then we'll bring it back, you know, around.
Because it starts inside, right?
Yeah.
Like everything starts inside.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important that we as women and as anybody takes like emotional inventory, like self inventory. So like, for example, when you're about to have an argument or a discussion or confrontation with Jordan, it's kind of like, for me, like if I'm in that situation and all of a sudden my face starts feeling flushed, I'm like, okay, something triggered me. It
I'm
starts
the same way.
inside, you know? And then it will get like, okay, I might get a sick feeling in my stomach. And again, it's like taking inventory, like something's going on here inside. I need to process this because you're right. You either fight or flight. You either blow up or you run away. And that's just really important for women to feel confident in what your body is doing, what your body's saying. And I want to kind of circle back to what you said before we bring on the guest, is you said something about you were afraid. You were afraid to stay in Miami because you didn't think your husband was going to be here. You were afraid to go on staff at VU because, you know, you had been an entrepreneur for so long and you would give up your schedule. But I'm such a true believer now that breakthrough comes when you face head on the thing you're most afraid of.
Absolutely.
1,000.
Yeah.
You know, and Doobie knows right now I'm like most afraid of something.
Yeah.
And she's probably going to help me do it later tonight. But I truly believe that, because that's really when the Lord is like, she's literally like, when you're holding on, like, I don't want to do it. I'm afraid. What if it doesn't work out? What is it? And you go crazy in your mind. But then when you let it go, it's like this release, and the Lord's like, okay, I can trust you with the next thing that I had for you, that I want to give you.
Yeah.
And you can stop trying to do it yourself. I never called you to pursue this man. I never called you to pursue this relationship. I never told you to go text him, but you did because you were trying to figure it out, because you were afraid that if you surrendered it all, I wouldn't do it.
Yep.
But the Lord is always working. And so I just want to commend you again for like jumping out, like facing your fears head on.
Yeah.
And I think too, so many times, like for me, I'm about to be 33 and I'm like, I'm still so single. Like, God, hello, like, what are you doing? But I can't force it. I can't, you know, and one more thing I want to hit on too.
I do want to say one thing too, but go ahead.
Don't
I'll go
forget.
after you.
Okay.
I won't. Did
I just forget? Oh no. Oh God. Okay. Something that
don't forget, she's laughing. Don't forget.
Oh my God. Okay. So when we say sometimes what we want is not what we need.
Yeah.
When I first became a Christian and heard that, I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, I want what I want, you know, but
that's pride.
It's okay. Thanks. We are working on that.
Okay. Thanks.
But when we pray to the Lord, like, Lord, change my heart to want your will.
Oh gosh.
What we end up wanting is what we need.
Yeah.
So for any woman who is like me, who is listening and is like, what do you mean I can't ever get what I want? It's always what I need. Like, no, when the Lord is so good and kind to us that he will change our heart posture, our heart's desire to align with what he has for us. Bam.
So I was actually going to say that, like, my favorite Bible verse, I know you said you were going to come on next, but my favorite Bible verse in this past, 2 years has been, because I hear it all the time with girls, right? Like, obviously I have a lot of women that I talk to and stuff, and it's, but God will give you the desires of your heart. Yeah, he's going to give you the desires of your heart, but don't omit the first part of that Bible verse, which says, says, if, oh my gosh, now I blanked out. What is it?
Isn't it if you submit to the Lord, He will give you the desires of your heart or something?
Delight yourself in the Lord.
Delight,
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm like, what is the word?
Submit,
I know
sure.
I'm thinking about submitting, but it's delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart, right? Like everybody always wants to say He'll give you the desires of your heart, but it's like the first part of that says delight yourself in the Lord. It's a command. It's you have to go delight yourself in the Lord first. You have to go seek His kingdom first, because as you do and as you get closer to Him, that's when your like the desires of your heart start changing, right?
You outgrow so many things.
And the beautiful thing is you don't even have to try. He just does it for you.
Yes.
And one day you're like,
and it's like you don't even want any of the things that you wanted.
So that's one of the
all.
things that I want to talk about, because I'm not bashing any of the guys that I dated before. Those were things that I chose that taught me so much.
Right.
I'm so thankful for
just
all
name
of them.
them all and just shout out to all of you.
can we just bash them all? I'm just kidding.
I'm so thankful for all of them. My ex-fiance, I mean, we grew up so much in our 20s together.
Yeah.
There were so many things I learned about myself. I learned how much of a nurturer I was. I learned how much I wanted marriage that I didn't think that I did in the way that I wanted it, right? And so like I love so many things that I learned from him. The next, I went for a season of singleness for like 5 or 6 years after that, right? Which is a long time for a lot of girls. And when I finally opened myself up to the next guy, it was a 3-month situationship, but he taught me the masculine side of a man. Like he was a dad. So he obviously like at that point knew how to take care of kids. He had that emotional part of the kids, but he also was very good at just showing up as a man. So I learned great things about him, right? Like I learned that chivalry was not dead. Beautiful, perfect. The next guy, it was a friend. And I was like, man, this is actually how I feel like it's easier for me to date. Like I need somebody that's been a friend that can easily turn into a relationship, because dating gives me anxiety. That's just a part of who
you have to put up like your best front,
and I'm like, it feels like an interview. It feels like I'm going on a date with a stranger. What if you're a serial killer? Like, I don't know who you are. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't want to deal with those things. Those things give me anxiety.
Let me love you like a brother first.
And then
that's crazy.
I love you like a brother.
You're my brother in Christ.
and
like
then
your future
let
husband.
it move towards a relationship. That's what works out for me. Great, cool. It didn't work out, but hey, like I learned so many things. I learned how to have a friendship first and like see the person through different eyes because of the friendship that we had, right? Like not exiting somebody out like really fast just because it doesn't look the way that I expect it to look or whatever.
Yeah.
Then the one after that, he showed up in all these ways where I was like, I didn't even know that I liked these things. Like he would send things to my house. He would like, you know, go.
Oh yeah.
he would like be very intentional.
It's been so fun
I'm
listening
like,
to you
which
because I'm
one?
like,
Which
this
one?
one's that one. This one's that one.
And I was like, he was
You
so
know who you
intentional
are.
in so many ways that I didn't know that I needed or that I wanted. And it was ways that I needed somebody to show up without me telling you. Oh, like it was like little things he would pick up on, how he included my friends in things. And I was like, oh, that's actually really important for me. Like I didn't realize that because I have these close group of girlfriends and he's like pulling them into things.
Me.
He didn't really know you, but point is that like it was nice, right? But all of that was like, oh wait, God, you're showing me that these are the true desires of my heart. I'm aligning myself to your will. They're all things that on paper would look really great, but they're not things that they're not the men that I want, period, right? Now Jordan comes in and he has all of these qualities that all of these guys have had, plus more. And it took me back to Greg's episode that we did on the Breaking Bread podcast with him, where he was like, I remember writing down my list and then God exceeded my expectations of that list. And I'm like, I remember taking all of these things that all of these guys were teaching me, putting them on a list and saying, but God, now I'm going to trust you that you're going to exceed my expectations, that you're going to be the God of exceedingly and abundantly more than I could ever ask, think, or imagine. And then Jordan popped in.
And I remember like 2 years ago, we wrote a list of what we wanted, which I don't know.
At your
do you
house,
have that?
I still have mine.
Yeah.
And the person.
You don't have it
I
with
don't have
you.
it with me, no.
Oh my God, that would have been so
dang.
great.
Yeah.
I should have known because
Do you
what
remember
I had
what
on
you
my
wrote?
list.
I remember some things because even specific things like I want him to be funny and I want him to want to learn to speak Spanish and I want like it's very specific things. And I'm like, bro, Jordan is more Nika than I am.
Which is
Sometimes.
so funny because he'll be like, I'll hear him in HQ at VU and he'll be like, I ordered this in Spanish and I sounded so Hispanic.
Yeah, he did.
And he's like blonde with blue eyes.
We go to restaurants and like we're
He rolls
eating.
his R's better than I do.
And that's been a struggle, but he's getting there. We go to restaurants, and the other day we were at a Peruvian restaurant, and I'm expecting him to order in Spanish, and he's like, "Yo quiero," and then he just starts saying it, and I'm like, I love him.
I love that.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of Jordan,
But I was
can we
gonna
call
say
him up?
something.
Oh yeah. Oh, you didn't forget. You have such a good brain.
We're gonna have him now. You already said who it was. Anyway,
She's been saying Jordan.
Okay.
Oh, the guest, Jordan. Whoops.
Jordan is here. No, really quickly before he comes in and then he shares his side of the story. Okay, two things. One, for a lot of us, including ourselves and women out there, I feel like a lot of people tend to do this. When we were talking about the body and how your body tells you too. And to me also, that is the Holy Spirit as well.
100%.
Living within us, that it's like, hey, this is not the guy. I've made the mistake where I'm like, oh, it's just my fear. I'm scared to open up again. And like just kind of excusing the feelings, when looking back, it was like, oh no, that was prevention all along. And protection. Yeah. So to the woman out there, if you're talking to somebody and you feel anxiety and all the things, it's not necessarily that you're scared of opening up or scared to fall in love, because I do believe that needs to come with peace and clarity.
Yes.
So
Listen to it.
yes.
Listen to your body.
Listen to it.
It's so,
I think
it's
the
key.
best book for me that I read in the last 2 years, and then we can bring him in, was
No,
The
she has one
Feeler.
Wait, one more thing, but go ahead.
The
Sorry,
feeler?
it was The Feeler.
I want to read that. You said you were going to get it for me.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry.
This has been recorded.
The Feeler, because I realized that the Holy Spirit will talk to you in 4 different ways. And even to the people that don't believe the Holy Spirit is out there, he will speak to you in 4 different ways. Like at the end of the day, like that's how it is, right? Like, and so it's by knowing, by hearing, by seeing, or by feeling. And a lot of women, for the most part, because we're so emotional, we tend to be more feelers.
We're very
right?
intuitive
We're intuitive, so it affects our gut. Like everything, if the things aren't going well emotionally, it affects our gut, like anxiety or mental health. So we're feelers, but then that's also where the enemy attacks you the most. So where the Holy Spirit uses you the most, which is in your feelings and your emotions, like that's also where the enemy wants to attack you the most. Like, for example, men are called to be visionaries. They're called to lead with vision, right? Like that's how they should lead in their household, with a vision. But why is it that men are also attacked with pornography so terribly? Because as seers that are supposed to have a vision for like what's supposed to happen in their lives and in their marriage and in their household, they're also attacked through the eyes and through
being
lust
perverted.
and pornography, because that's where the enemy wants to pervert what the Holy Spirit's actually trying to use for good. So I think once you start learning those things, I was like, oh man, like the enemy's been going like to my emotions and my feelings through wrong relationships to keep me from what God is actually having for me. And so that's when I also learned that, like, okay.
And one more thing, as your friend, and I think we're all witnesses of this, I've seen you like go through it so much. And throughout the 4 years or 3 years of our relationship, I know every guy that you were talking about. I know each and every one of them. Hi to all of you.
We know all your social security
They're not, no, you guys are great. Just not for her, but it's fine.
Great.
And I remember you going through all these things, and I remember praying for each other, praying for you, Annie and I, when we were together at last VuCon, like 2 years ago.
Oh my gosh,
last conference at our church. And I remember that the message was very on point, and I couldn't get you out of my mind and my heart. We were standing in separate areas of the arena, and I ran all the way to you. You were crying your eyes out because we knew your desire was to find the one, to finally be married, because this has been, people don't know, this has been your desire and what breaks your heart for the last 10 years, honestly.
Yeah.
So just like praying over you. And I remember vividly both of us and me telling you it's going to happen incredibly fast. I remember I prayed for you months later. We were at another conference, and it was Woo Girl. Yeah. And I remember vividly, I'm like, this is going to be like the floodgates are going to open up for you with blessings. And it's going to happen so fast, you won't even realize
Yeah.
it. And it's going to be everything you wanted. And I think I even told you the guy is not from Miami.
You saw me happy. I will never forget that you're like, I see you happy. I see you happy. And everything's going to happen so fast.
Yep.
And like, it's just going to happen so quickly. And the crazy thing was, and this is why it's so important to surround yourself with really good community of women, right? That speak life into situations and pray for each other. Because I remember you found me and I was hysterically crying. My grandma had just passed away. So I was also like, I had just lost my job. I was like, I don't know where I'm going in life. I don't know what I'm doing. Do I move? Do I not move? And you were praying in my left ear and Annie was praying on my right ear. And what you were saying on my left ear, Annie was confirming on the right ear. You guys were both saying the same things at the same time.
And we couldn't hear what we were saying because it was so loud. Yeah.
And I was just bawling. Like you guys were basically holding me up.
Yeah.
And at that conference, Renee, the first night of the conference, I remember Renee was like, I need to pray for you after Pastor Rich's sermon. She's like, I need to pray for you. The Holy Spirit told me I need to pray for you. And she came downstairs to pray for me with a girl, Sabrina. And Sabrina was like, I just saw this vision. And this vision was that you're in, and she gave me the vision, right? But she said the same thing. She's like, the dam's about to break. And she's like, it's been slowly coming out. Water's been slowly coming out in like small amounts of pressure. But when that thing breaks, it's going to be just a floodgate.
I remember
and
you
said
telling
the
me
same
that.
exact words that Saturday. And I was just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
It was so bizarre, but that's how God speaks to you. And those are the things that just fill me with hope of being like, God, I'm just going to be obedient to whatever you put in front of me. I'm just going to say yes. I'm going to say yes to the things, even if they're uncomfortable, even if I don't want to do them. I'm just going to stand in the gap and just say yes. And
his promises are true in his time. And that's something that we would always pray for. It's like reminder of your promises. Like remind us of your promises.
And I'm
so
grateful that these things didn't happen 3 years ago.
Or
like
when you wanted it to happen.
Or when I wanted it to happen. Because I was just not ready. Like with all the guys, all great guys, a lot of them are Christian men in our church. And I love them still. Like I still hold they hold a special place in my heart. But what I'm saying is, man, I was so unhealthy. I was so toxic. There were so many things about me that had Jordan come into the picture then, it would have been really unhealthy.
It wouldn't have worked out.
Let's bring him to the picture now.
Here we have Jordan.
Oh my God. Where is he? Jordan! Jordan!
Don't cut that. The Jordan killed me.
The Jordan River is coming. Oh my God, floodgates. Jordan River.
He doesn't want to come and see me.
I had to cross the River Jordan.
Jordan.
El Rio Jordan.
Earlier.
Why? What?
Wow.
He was probably just saying
The
that,
man
like, okay. These
of
girls
the
talk a
hour.
lot.
Jordan!
Can we close the door? Oh, you're
You have
holding
your
it.
own microphone. That's
You're in the hot
scary.
seat.
In the middle.
Jordan, how are you doing
Bendito
today?
entre todas las mujeres.
Okay. What do you mean? It's a great day. You're surrounded by
It's a great
4
day.
awesome women. One is your fiance.
And we're all staring at you. How do you feel?
I'm okay.
Okay. Welcome to our show.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
So we've been talking so much about your relationship and just how beautiful it's been to see God fulfill his promise to Andrea. As you know, we've been on this, on the journey with her. And we kind of want to hear your side of the story.
All right.
Yeah. So how did it start? Was it love at first sight? Were you like, I want to get a job at VU because I know Andrea's going to get a job at VU?
No to all of those.
He's like, none of the above.
No. How did it start? I mean, it started as friends when I moved down here to Miami in April of last year, in 2024. I moved here to be closer to a mutual friend, Greg. And that was like the decision behind moving to Miami was to be closer to Greg and closer to VU. And I ended up going to a crew at his house, and that's where I met Andrea.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there.
You were at Crew when
Oh, I
Greg would
was?
talk about him.
Yeah, would talk about.
But you were there when he came on, girl.
Oh, really?
Okay. Okay. Continue next.
I told you I have holes in my brain.
But I moved down here to be closer to him. He's been in my life for a long time. He knew my mom used to babysit him. He's a very old family friend. So I just wanted to be closer to Greg, and went to his crew. That's where I met Andrea. I met a lot of people there. Andrea and I, at first, it was just friends. I had an attraction to one of her close friends. So while I was pursuing that relationship, which nothing really came out of that, but it set kind of a standard and a boundary for the two of us to just like, no, I'm not doing anything to go after you. We're friends, like I'm attracted to your friend. I'm not going to try and hit on you or anything like that. And I think that kind of just took off a whole bunch of layers of like, how do you interact with people that you don't know? Well, we already had a predefined thing of like, well, we're not trying to date ever. So it's really easy to just be friends, And that is how the relationship started. I think it took a little bit. We weren't like super close friends right at the beginning. It took a little bit for us, just time and conversations for us to kind of be better friends, talk about deeper stuff. And we kind of grew into that, and she became a very close friend, a person that I would talk to about a lot of things that were going on in my life. And then there was a point earlier this year, in April of this year, 2025, where I did come on a staff at VU. I was kind of going through the decision process in the months prior, and she was involved in that as far as like, do I leave my old job and come work in ministry? What house do I buy? Like, she was involved in that process. And then when I did come on staff, she was just very intentional with checking in on me. And we were spending more time together because we just had more FaceTime. Before, it was like just phone calls that we would really interact with each other. But now we're seeing each other every day at work. We're seeing each other for a long time on Sundays. And that kind of just more FaceTime and bringing us closer together. I was really enjoying my time with her. And then eventually,
A month later,
I was like, okay, she's really attractive. So we run a small group at our church together. And I remember the very first small group that we ran together. Up until this point, it was still just like, there was no inkling of trying to date Andrea. We were just still close friends. And then we had that first crew together, and she was sitting to my left. And I just remember her talking, and I'm interacting with everybody in crew. And then I looked to my left, and I saw her as she was talking, and I was like, she's actually really pretty.
The scales left your eyes. Why did nobody tell me?
Exactly. And
That's too funny. Where have you been all my life?
Yeah, right? That's so good.
But it was definitely a moment of just like, what? Like
You look different.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens with girls too. Like for me, if I'm friends with a guy and then I end up like, I'm like, wow, you're taller.
Well, that happened to me with him. Like he sat. So
dying.
it's funny because we would go to City, like that was our location, but then they assigned me SoMe, and that's where he would serve at.
Yeah.
And like I'm like, God just knew, man. Like he knew
puts it
he
all
needed to put
together.
me at SoMe, because if not, like we wouldn't have gotten more FaceTime together. But he was sitting at the head of the table one time, which is where I would sit to work, and he just came in to say hi or whatever and talk. And all of a sudden, I looked at him and I was like, "You look really manly today." And I was like, why did I just say that to Jordan?
How did you
But
take
the
that?
best thing,
Jordan's like,
he just
okay.
sat there and laughed, and he was just like, it's the beard. I was like, okay. And then when I started like realizing something was up was when they asked us to baptize people when he first came on staff.
When I asked, yeah.
You asked us to baptize people. And no, it was Marianne, actually. She was the first one that asked us. And Marianne had actually asked me, she's like, oh, what about Jordan? And I was like, no, we're just friends. And she's like, okay. But then like a week later, she's like, hey, I need I need people to like baptize. Yeah. Can you guys baptize together? And we were walking out and we both didn't hesitate. I don't know why, because you know me, like I would always hesitate to say yes. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I was like, what did I just sign up for? But the day that we got to baptize, I'm getting in the tank with him. And all of a sudden I just feel nervous and I feel anxiety. And I'm like, okay, either I'm anxious because I was like, either I'm anxious. You're such a guy. I'm like, either I'm anxious because I've never baptized before or because I'm baptizing with him. It's either one. And I was like, all right, God, whatever, you figure it out. So that was really cool. But
so she's like really pretty.
Yes, exactly.
Tell her she looks pretty.
And then from that point, I think I was like, I don't remember if it was after that we went and spent the day together, right? For the first time ever hanging out one-on-one, outside of, like first time ever hanging out one-on-one, really. Yeah. We had made plans because originally I think I had made those plans before I've found out you were beautiful. But I basically was like, I want to like hang out with her just to kind of develop and be more comfortable in our crew that we were leading together. And then all of a sudden I'm attracted to her. So I'm like, okay, I want to see if we can hang out one-on-one and enjoy a day together and be able to joke around and not be awkward. So that's what I thought that day was. She thought it was a date. But
it's always
I was just like, I was just kind of trying to figure out.
I didn't think it was
like
a date at first, but I was like,
I thought it was a date.
I thought it was a date.
Yeah,
we all told her.
Yeah.
We're like, this is a date.
This is a date. Yep.
And the fact that we already knew, she's like, oh my God, I saw him cute. Oh my God, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, she would come
oh
to
my
me,
God, here we go again. I think I like Jordan. I don't want to like Jordan. I'm like,
yeah. She's like, we're just friends, but like he's really tall and cute, and like he's white.
And he carries my bag.
and we're like, dude, just like him. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we spent a very nice day together. It was great, very enjoyable. I remember that we had plans to just go eat. And then when she came here, so I drove us together. And while we were leaving, I just didn't want to stop hanging out with her. So I was like, do you want to do anything? Like, is anything you want to do? Like, we could just go do it. And she was like, yeah, let's go to the mall. So we walked around. She looked at stuff. She was distracted.
No, I remember being at Zara.
You called me and you're like, yeah.
He was walking around and I was like, this feels like he's like a boyfriend. And I'm like, and I called Annie and I was like, why does this feel like he's like a boyfriend? I'm like shopping for clothes and I can't even shop because this feels like he's like a boyfriend already. And I was like, this is weird. Then we went to cheesecake and after that I was like, okay, I'm done. This feels
And Jordan was not thinking anything. You're like,
Jordan
we're
was
at the mall.
fine. Jordan was fine.
I wasn't like nervous. I was just like, we're hanging out and I'm enjoying it. And we're walking around and I like talking to you. We went and got cheesecake afterwards and we talked some more and then we called it a day. At that point I was like, okay, I think she's really pretty. I think that I enjoy talking to her. I think she's a wonderful woman, which I always did. All of you, right? I just think very highly of you and I thought very highly of her. And then I was like, okay, that's kind of what other question do I need to ask myself? There isn't one. So the following Sunday, which I don't know how many days after that was 2 days later. Yeah. I walked out or I grabbed her to just step outside and have a one-on-one conversation in a little break that we had at church. And I was just thinking like, I don't know. I just kind of was like, hey.
I think that's the only time, because sorry to interrupt, but I think that's the only time I actually felt anxiety because you guys were asking me. And I think that was the only time that I felt in my gut some sort of anxiety because I was just like he texted me and he's like, hey, do you want to go outside and like for a breather? Like, I kind of want to talk to you about something. And I was like, he's either going to tell me that like, hey, like, I like putting a boundary of like, I'm glad that we hung out on Friday, but like, we're just friends kind of thing. Or he's going to say that he likes me kind of thing.
Which
so
I think that's a normal
So I was
reaction.
like, right. So I was like, which is, I was fine with either or, because I think at that point I had been protecting my heart so much, like that I was just like, I'm not gonna let myself really like him until like I know where this is going, because of what we had talked about earlier, right? Clarity is key. And so when he actually was like, hey, I like how this is going, how we're friends, like I kind of want to pursue this, I was like, oh, okay, we're really doing this kind of thing. So it was that's the clarity that I think women need more
Clear
of.
is kind.
Yeah.
Very
Clear
kind.
is kind.
Yeah, and I think that with that, you even talked when we went out. I remember you saying something along the lines of like, just spit it out or something. Like you were just trying to, but I could tell that you were very guarded, and I could tell that you were, something was up, as in your own boundary. So I was trying to figure out if you were even comfortable with where things were going. And then when you were like, just spit it out, I was like, okay, well, I like you and I want to be in a relationship with you.
Or
Simple
masculinity.
as that.
Just spit it out.
You have
Simple
anything
as
to
that.
tell the men? Just keep it simple, man.
Yeah, please.
Right?
Yeah, I think just keep it simple. Tell the men about what question?
Advice. I mean, technically women are the one that listen to this, and he's actually the
for
first
women, I guess.
like guy that we have on the podcast.
Yay.
So, but mostly for women, I think, like I always tell him, I'm like, I do see that he talks to a lot of women, not in a bad way, obviously, but like, you know, girls will have conversations with him and stuff. And I'm like, I feel like if anything, I love the fact that women come to you for advice and for things, because we need more men like him and like Greg and like all these, like Ray, that are very good at like speaking to women and giving them advice when they're dating a guy. Especially because men see things that we don't see, just like we see things in women that they don't see. Right. And so I tell him all the time, like, I think when he's come on staff at church, like it's been nice to see that he's the one guy that's like, hey, let me help you with that. Let me, like, you're carrying this really heavy like box. Like, let me actually, like, he'll get up and like, and he's teaching even them how to learn how to receive that from a friend, you know? And so like, I think that that's a good thing.
Yeah, I guess general advice, like for guys, is I think that at least in my experience, I've never, or if I've ever been in a situation where I'm like, oh, I don't really know about this girl. I don't know if I like her. I don't know, whatever. Then like spending time with her is never fruitful. You know what I mean? Like it's always very, if I'm attracted to somebody, it's not like I think it's like, no, I am.
Like
you know
you're
what
certain.
I mean? And I think that is a very easy thing when you see it, to just be like, okay, 100% I'm attracted. There has never been like, I think I'm attracted to Andrea. It's like, no, I'm attracted. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
And I think from there, it's like, I think that that's kind of the only thing that you should pursue, if that makes sense. And yeah.
It makes total sense.
What about when the guys are uncertain? Like, where do you think that comes from? When it's like the on and off and the yes and no and the I don't know. And
I think that uncertainty is, if you think about like what you're committing to, right? Because a guy can know that he's attracted to a woman, and that's easy. But then it's like, okay, do we want to take this next step? Do we want to start dating? What am I committing to? How much time am I going to commit to this? Do I have that time? Do I have the desire to give that much time? You know what I mean? I think that that's where uncertainty comes from. And then, you know, do I want to get engaged? Well, what does that mean? Now it's real. I'm locked in. You know what I mean? And then am I nervous? What am I signing up for? I think they're trying to determine that. And I think a lot of that, sometimes those questions can come with maybe unclear expectations. Like there's been relationships that I've been in where it's like, okay, I didn't know that you wanted all of this from this. You know what I mean? Like, maybe not a woman clearly defining her expectation of what a boyfriend should do, and, you know, stuff like that. I think that we have very clear expectations. Like, I don't cook. Like, I don't like to cook. Andrea cooks. She's going to cook for me, right?
That's your
like,
expectation.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of,
Yeah.
it's not an expectation. It's not like if you don't cook for me, we're going to have problems. You know what I mean? But it's like, I'm not
This is what I would want.
I'm not
It's
going
a
to cook
desire.
for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
He makes the drinks and he cleans. Like,
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
She doesn't expect me to cook for her.
Yeah.
I don't expect her to clean. When she does it, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. You know what I mean? But like, I don't expect you to. Just like different kind of things. Yeah, teamwork.
And it comes
finding
from a
stuff like
place
that.
of learning to serve each other too. Like,
Yeah.
like last night he was working till 11 p.m. that he got home, right? And I could have gone home, or I could have gone to the gym, but instead I asked Nebraska, hey, do you want to meet up with me at the house to like finish, the studio, but also to cook him a meal? Because I'm like, if he comes home earlier and he's hungry, I want him to come home to a home cooked meal. Like he's exhausted, Like I don't want him to try to sit there and figure out what do I eat when I'm tired. Like I didn't know that they were going to order food to eat, but I was like, I'm going to do this for him because this is a place of me serving you because you're doing so much also for us.
Yeah.
So it's learning how to serve each other in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody has their own things that they should serve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. Well, we want to play a game. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Also, I love how you guys are like opposite.
Opposites attract, man.
I know. I was going to say that you stole
We're
that.
not really.
No, we're not. Oh gosh. Flashcards and all.
Yeah, and then you participate. Janelle is going to participate.
Women Who Gone Game Show. Newly engaged. The Christian dating
Edition.
game show. Yeah. Okay, so the way the game's gonna go is we're gonna ask you guys some questions.
Okay.
You have to answer, and then you have to see if your answers are correct.
You're gonna write them down.
Yeah, you're gonna write them down. So
But you guys can't
no
look-
cheating.
Yeah.
Okay.
No cheating. And then winner has to buy us lunch.
Or cook us.
Cook us lunch, yeah. All right. Doobie.
Dale. Oh, you go, you
Are
go.
we starting?
Yes.
Yeah. You start.
Okay. Then. Okay, so what is each other's favorite color?
God, that's like the most awful first date question.
Do you know it? I don't. I feel like
skipped
I
all
don't
of that.
ask that.
I
question.
asked him that once and he was like, do you really need to
Do
know?
I even know Andreas?
Come on. Okay, guess
what's
it. Guess
what's your favorite comfort food then?
Okay.
'Cause since you guys
Well,
like to eat.
his favorite comfort food, right? Or
Okay,
mine?
so then he's got to do yours. You have
Yeah.
to do his.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
I'm nervous.
And if you get it wrong, you have to call someone,
phone a friend.
you gotta go
a family friend or somebody.
to counseling. Just kidding.
Okay, when you're done,
Okay.
wait for him to be done.
Oh no.
Are you done, Jordan?
Here, you can borrow.
Breathe
mine.
on it.
Or you could say it at the same time. You could
Okay.
say it at the same time too.
No, because
No.
he doesn't have a mic, so we'll just flip him. Okay.
Oh, the pen didn't work. Wow.
Okay.
So we flip it?
okay.
Not yet. He's
Okay.
not done.
Yeah. Wait.
Yes, he has.
Not looking.
Andrea, do you have a Yes.
Yes. Okay.
3.
Right.
So
Two.
Andrea first. What is his favorite comfort food? Pizza or pasta? And
Is that
then
correct?
what is hers? I can't. So was she correct?
I think to guess it right, he would answer it first, and then she'll show what she wrote.
yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's better.
That's better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then do it the other way. Okay,
Yeah.
so then what drink do you guys order at a cafe?
I feel like I know Jordan's and Andrea's.
Yeah, you definitely know mine.
Yeah.
I think we all know yours because you don't really
Let me
drink
borrow
coffee.
the other pen. I know, but I can try it. I can just say it out loud for him, but
You want to do it out loud instead of writing it?
What?
A cafe.
yeah. Yeah.
It's not a restaurant.
For me, it's anything with pumpkin. So pumpkin chai latte or the pumpkin, or not latte, the pumpkin chai, whatever foam thing, pumpkin cream cold brew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a lot.
She got a
You guys, this is Christian. Just kidding.
But for him, he doesn't go to a cafe. Well, he to me, I think of a Starbucks, right? And like he doesn't order things from Starbucks because he makes his own coffee. But if he is going to drink coffee somewhere, it's always going to be black with no sugar.
Okay, now really quick, let me interlap another game really quick. You have to close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna go like this, and you're gonna point to see who said what? Who did what first? Who's the most
like that.
annoying?
I
Who's
like
the
that.
most
Okay,
blah,
I
blah, blah,
close
blah,
my
blah.
eyes.
Rapid fire to wrap
It's
up
like the
pod.
TikTok game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close your
Okay.
eyes, Jordan.
Okay. You're going to point, okay? Whether it's to yourself or to your,
Andrea.
to your person. Okay. Who said I love you first?
Oh God.
Okay.
And that's actually a really funny story that we should talk about.
Okay.
Because for me, I blurted it out on the phone and I caught myself and I was like, oh my God, what did
love
I
you,
just say?
bye.
And I was like, wait, reverse. I was like, that's not what I meant to say. I don't know why it just came out.
Wait, go on the microphone.
She technically said it first, but then she immediately took it back. I am the first person who was like, I'm going to say this.
Yeah, he literally he drove to my house that night at like 10:30 at night and
Just
We were
to say
on
I
the
love
phone.
you.
We were on the phone at like 10 and I was like,
on FaceTime. And
Yeah.
he was like
And I
walking
was
out of
like-
his house and I'm like, where are you going? And he goes, just wait. And I was like, okay. And he showed up at my house 20 minutes later to say I love you.
Dios mío.
yeah.
Dios mío, qué calor.
Okay, do we close our eyes again?
Yes.
Yeah, close your eyes.
Do you guys have another question? Wait.
The mic.
Okay. Who's most likely to wait? Close your eyes, Andrea.
Yes.
Who's most likely to apologize first?
Let's go.
Okay.
Who is more likely to start a fight?
Okay.
Yeah, you are. I mean, you have to watch the episode to see, Jordan. Who is more emotional?
Who's more rational?
Who spends more money?
Who's the clean one?
Mm.
Okay.
Dang,
Okay.
they're like
Okay.
Who's more organized?
Okay.
Who?
Who falls asleep first in movies
Movies?
or watching TV?
Wow, you
Oh,
guys.
wow, you
I'm
guys are-
impressed.
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
I don't know. I think they're so perfect for each other. I think we just need to wrap up the. Yeah, it's like you guys crushed it
Yeah,
with
you're
like
right. I'm like, I think we're
flying
done.
colors.
Who says sorry first?
We already did that one.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
Bell
we did.
apologizes first.
Yeah, you're right.
Jordan.
My bad.
But
Okay.
anyway, you guys are
This was
amazing.
fun.
This was so much fun. Thank you both for being on. Well, you have to be. Thank you, Jordan, for being on the podcast. You are the first guy on the Women Who podcast.
Yes.
So we'll give you a ribbon or like some sort of badge of honor because it is an honor, but it's been an honor to have you. And we're just so excited for your future. And we're excited to be a part of your God's love story for you guys. I'm going to go throw up. But anyway, we love you. If you want to ask questions to Jordan or Andrea about the relationship, you can ask them in the comments and they will be sure to answer them for you. But in the meantime, we are going to record another episode. So make sure that you all stay tuned and watch this one.
Bye.